Men, here's a reality check you probably weren't ready for. A lot of women will call you controlling, not because you're actually controlling, but because they want zero accountability while they control everything. This is one of the dirtiest tricks in modern dating. Flipping the label to protect their freedom while they're busy shaping your life, your habits, and even your personality to fit their agenda. Here's the paradox. When you set boundaries, you're controlling. When she sets rules, it's just respect. When you question her behavior, you're toxic. When she questions yours, she's just looking out for the relationship. And most men don't see this until it's too late, until they've been groomed into compliance, stripped of their backbone, and convinced that her way is the right way. So today, I'm dropping 7 brutal truths that will make you see this manipulation for what it really is. This is a sting, but better to feel the sting of truth now than the slow poison of being a man without a spine. 1. She'll demonize your boundaries while enforcing hers without mercy. The first thing you'll notice in a controlling woman, boundaries are a one-way street. The moment you say, "I'm not okay with you hanging out with that ex," suddenly you're the jealous, insecure boyfriend who needs to trust her. But if she says, "I don't want you talking to that female coworker," somehow that's perfectly reasonable. This double standard is deliberate. It keeps her free to do what she wants while keeping you on a short leash. And over time, you'll find yourself second-guessing every request, wondering if you're being too much. Here's the raw truth. Boundaries are healthy, but in a manipulative setup, only her boundaries matter. The moment yours inconvenience her, she'll label them controlling and shame you into dropping them. That's not partnership, that's a power play. 2. She'll control the pace of the relationship while acting like you're the leader. This one is subtle. A controlling woman doesn't necessarily bark orders. She steers with suggestion, pressure, and timing. She'll push for moving in together, meeting her family, or making big commitments faster than you're ready for. But if you hesitate, you'll hear things like, "Why are you so afraid of commitment? If you really love me, you'd be sure by now." On the flip side, if you're ready for something, kids, marriage, a shared investment, she'll pump the brakes. And she'll have a reasonable explanation every time. This is control disguised as relationship progress. She's not following your lead. She's using your emotions, fears, and desire for harmony to make the relationship unfold exactly how she wants, at the speed she wants. And because you're the man, everyone will assume you're the one calling the shots. You're not. 3. She'll weaponize the word controlling to shut you down. Few things make a modern man shut his mouth faster than being called controlling. Society has beaten that word into us until it's practically a scarlet letter. A manipulative woman knows this, and she'll use it to end any discussion where she's in the wrong. You bring up her partying habits, you're trying to control me. You question why she's DMing guys late at night, you're controlling. The brilliance of this tactic is that it flips the narrative instantly. Instead of her answering for her behavior, now you're on the defensive, explaining yourself, apologizing, and trying to prove you're not that guy. It's emotional sleight of hand. Make you the problem so she never has to own hers. And if you don't catch it early, you'll find yourself walking on eggshells, afraid to say anything that might get twisted into proof of you being the controlling one. 4. She'll control through finances without calling it control. Money is one of the oldest tools of control, and modern relationships are no exception. She might push for shared accounts, then monitor every dollar you spend. She might suggest how you should budget, where you should invest, or what's a waste of money. She'll have opinions on every purchase you make. But if you dare question hers, get ready for a fight. In some cases, she won't even need to earn more than you. She'll control spending by tying it to her needs and making you feel guilty if you don't prioritize them. And the worst part, she'll frame it all as responsibility or teamwork, when really, it's about making sure your resources serve her vision first. 5. She'll decide who you can and can't see, but call it protecting the relationship. Pay attention here. This is one of the most dangerous forms of control. Slowly, she'll chip away at your social circle. She doesn't like that one female friend? Gone. She doesn't vibe with a certain buddy? You start seeing him less. She just doesn't feel comfortable with you going to that guy's trip, canceled. Over time, your entire world shrinks until the only consistent person in it is her. And she'll convince you it's because she cares and doesn't want bad influences around you. But here's the truth. A woman who trusts you doesn't isolate you. Isolation is control, and control is power. 6. She'll control your image, how you dress, talk, and even think. At first, it'll seem harmless. Small comment about your clothes, hairstyle, or the way you speak. Then, it'll turn into strong suggestions about what's appropriate for a man in a relationship. Before you know it, you're dressing to her taste, avoiding jokes you'd normally make, and filtering your personality to avoid conflict. This is slow grooming. It's the boiling frog tactic. Change you so gradually you barely notice until you're not the man you used to be. 7. She'll make you believe it's all your idea. The most skilled controlling women don't push, they plant. They suggest. They subtly influence you until you think the decisions you're making are yours. She'll give you choices, but all of them lead to her desired outcome. She'll act like she's compromising, but somehow the compromise always benefits her more. And by the time you realize how much she's shaped your life, it feels too late to push back because you've already agreed to everything along the way. Final call to action. Men, understand this. Control in a relationship isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it wears the mask of care, compromise, or respect. But if you're constantly bending, constantly justifying, and constantly losing pieces of yourself, you're not in a partnership. You're in a dictatorship. If she can make rules but you can't, if she can call you control while steering the ship herself, you're not being loved. You're being managed. Recognize it. Call it out. And if nothing changes, walk away before you wake up one day and realize you built a life that isn't even yours. Subscribe, like, comment, and share with brothers and sons who need this truth.